Our presentation is on pedophilia. Pedophilia is a psychiatric disorder in which an adult or older adolescent experiences a primary or exclusive sexual attraction to prepubescent children.
Signs and symptoms. Pedophilia emerges before or during puberty. It is stable over time. Studies show that in child sex offenders, pedophilia often co-occurs with other psychopathologies. It often occurs with depression, anxiety, and other mental health problems. Pedophilia is self-discovered, not chosen.
Personality traits of a pedophile. Pedophilia has been discovered as a disorder of sexual preference, similar to a heterosexual or homosexual orientation. Pedophiles experience elevated shyness, sensitivity, and depression. Pedophiles are more likely to suffer from anxiety, fear, anger, frustration, and schizophrenia. Pedophiles score higher on neuroticism and on the introversion scale and psychotism, but not enough to be considered pathological as a group.
The Kansas versus Hendricks case. Kansas versus Hendricks was a United States court case that set forth procedures for indefinite civil commitment of prisoners convicted of a sex offense whom the state claims as dangerous due to a mental abnormality. Under the Kansas Sexually Violent Predator Act, any person who, due to mental abnormality or personality disorder, is likely to engage in predatory acts of sexual violence can be indefinitely confined.
Leroy Hendricks and Tim Quinn had extensive histories of sexually molesting children. When they were due out of prison, Kansas filed a petition under the act in state court to involuntarily commit Hendricks and Quinn. Hendricks and Quinn challenged the constitutionality of the act and requested a trial by jury, which the court granted. Hendricks and Quinn testified during the trial that they agreed with the diagnosis by the state psychiatrist that they suffer from pedophilia and admitted that they continue to experience uncontrollable sexual desires for children under extreme stress. The jury decided that they qualify as sexually violent predators since pedophilia is defined as a mental abnormality under the act. The court ordered that Hendricks and Quinn be civilly committed. The Supreme Court ruled against Hendricks in a 5-4 decision. It agrees with the Act's procedures and the definition of a mental abnormality. It also agrees with how it is a condition affecting the emotional capacities which makes someone liable to commit sexually violent offenses to the degree that such a person is a menace to the health and safety of others.
Child pornography. Consumption of child pornography is more of a reliable indicator of pedophilia than molesting a child, although some non-pedophiles also view child porn. Pedophilic viewers of child pornography are often obsessive about collecting, organizing, categorizing, and labeling their child porn according to age, gender, sex act, and fantasy. According to FBI agent Ken Lanning, collecting porn doesn't mean that they only view child porn, but that they save it and that it comes to define, fuel, and validate their most cherished sexual fantasies. Lanning also says that collection is the single best indicator of what the offender wants to do, but has or will be done. Researchers Taylor and Coyle reported that pedophilic collectors of child porn are often involved in anonymous internet communities dedicated to extending their collections.
Pedophilia in today's society. Cases of sexual abuse and subsequent cover-ups committed by Catholic priests, nuns, and members of Roman Catholic orders have led to numerous allegations, investigations, trials, and convictions. The abused include boys and girls, some as young as 3 years old, with the majority being between the ages of 11 and 14. Former Subway spokesman Jared Fogle confessed to collecting child pornography and bedding teenage girls. The younger the better, he begged, according to court papers. I make no claim of innocence, and I am freely and voluntarily pleading guilty in this case because I am guilty of the crimes.
Continued. Many people mistake pedophiles as molesters. Media often compares pedophilia to being gay. Most child molesters know their victims. Dr. G. Nabel estimates that between 1% and 5% of our population molest women. 1 in 5 violent offenders serving time in a state prison reported having victimized a child. Males are reported to be the abusers 80 to 90% of the time, 71% of them being under the age of 35.